Today, the United States commands a level of influence that touches every corner of the globe, from its position as the world's largest economy to its reach as the most advanced military force. It stands as the undisputed global apex. But we have to look back to 1492 to find the start of this trajectory. When Christopher Columbus first explored the New World, he encountered a vast, undeveloped landmass that was entirely disconnected from the power centers of the East. British settlers established 13 distinct colonies along the Atlantic coast. It was a modest foothold, but the people grew frustrated by foreign rule. Consolidating this landmass normally takes centuries, but these colonies faced a much more compressed timeline. How did a fractured, rebellious collection of settlements manage to conquer that landmass and become history's most powerful nation in merely 250 years? The first major hurdle was a lack of autonomy. The colonies couldn't grow while tethered to a distant crown, leading to the high-stakes decision in 1776 to formally sever ties with the British Empire. Under the military leadership of George Washington, the colonies fought to secure the absolute political independence they needed to set the foundation for a future superpower. This victory introduced a specific mechanic to the American story, development spurred by existential friction. The nation found that its most significant advances occurred when it was forced to adapt rapidly to survive a threat to its existence. The most severe test of this model came not from an external empire, but from within. Less than a century after independence, the young country began to tear itself apart over the institution of slavery. A deep geographic and ideological divide between the North and South pushed the country into a brutal civil war, threatening to permanently dissolve the United States into separate, competing territories. President Abraham Lincoln eventually issued the historic decision to end slavery. This resolved the moral crisis of the era and provided the unified national identity necessary to move forward as a single entity. Surviving this internal crucible was essential. By avoiding permanent division, the country emerged as a unified baseline, ready to fuel a period of exponential industrial growth. Following national unification, the United States hit the Industrial Revolution with a massive multiplier effect. A single massive workforce was suddenly backed by mechanization. Manufacturing capacity exploded across the continent. Factories and technology expanded at a speed that completely transformed the American economy into a high-output engine. To connect these industrial centers, a vast network of railways was laid down. These trains acted as a vital circulatory system, moving resources and finished goods across thousands of miles of terrain. But industrial wealth alone does not lead to global dominance. To command the world stage, a nation must project its power outward into international affairs. The world wars acted as the ultimate global catalyst. These conflicts dragged American industrial and military might out of isolationism onto the world stage. The United States emerged from these crucibles as the undisputed premier military force on Earth, having outproduced and outfought every major adversary on the planet. The combination of a unified industrial engine and absolute victory in consecutive global wars provided the exact mechanism that cemented its modern superpower status. When we look at today's technological, military, and economic reality, we are looking at the result of a 250-year gauntlet of high-speed conflict and rapid adaptation. Global dominance is a volatile state. It is not something a nation simply inherits. It is a position that must be actively maintained through aggressive adaptation to new pressures. The superpower blueprint relies on the ability to convert severe, existential friction into an engine for national growth. As this timeline shows, every major spike in American influence followed a moment of extreme national stress. This historical model raises a vital question for the future. What happens to a superpower when it becomes comfortable and lacks the unifying friction that originally forged it? Will America maintain its position at the top, or is another nation currently navigating the friction necessary to take its place? Let me know who you think is the next superpower in the comments.